Hello and welcome back to the Fit Girl Club Confidently You podcast. My name is Helen and I'm your host, and thank you so much for taking time to listen today. I'm so excited to have you here. So for those of you that listened to last week's, thank you for your amazing feedback. I know a lot of you got a lot of value and information from it, and just to help to debunk these myths that were sold online, this absolute nonsense about nutrition. So if you haven't listened to it, go back and have a listen. I can promise you, every single one of you will get a golden nugget out of that. My years of nutritional, science-backed advice, realistic advice that you can stick to lose fat, feel healthier, have more energy, is all in that podcast. I get a bit passionate as well. As you'll notice, I like to get a bit passionate with everything, so because I'm a passionate person. But thank you so much for your feedback on that. And just a reminder, this is your last week to join my free challenge for November. So it'll be in the show notes. If you want to join, message me on social media, message me on here. I'll sign you up. And I'm so excited to get this free challenge going. It is absolutely free. There's no catch. No catch. The only catch is that you'll get amazing results. You'll tell everyone about me, and it's free marketing. That's the catch. So there is no catch. Right, anyway, let's get on to it, this week's episode. So, this week's episode is all about me turning from cardio queen to strength training and my fitness evolution. So, I will hold my hand up. When I first got into fitness in my adult life, now I delved, as I talk about in episode 1, delved in and out of playing in the sports teams in my teen years when I was a kid. But then I fell out of love with fitness. Didn't really enjoy it then either. So when I first got into fitness, I thought you just had to do cardio. I do think this is something that is becoming a thing of the past, and I hope it is becoming a thing of the past. But if you are someone that feels like you have to do cardio to lose body fat, please listen, take notes of this, because that is not the truth. But I used to think this. I used to think exercise was to burn off food. You had to earn your meals by sweating, sweat is just your fat crying, that absolute awful saying. And the result was that I was just like a broad bean. I lost body fat. I was in this mad restrictive diet. This was over 10 years ago, by the way. And I was just like, I had no shape or no substance about me. And I had to stay on these ridiculously low calories to stay really slim. And it was just rubbish. It wasn't a fun way to live, and I became obsessed. So I was running to burn calories. I was constantly hungry, tired, and just my body composition was not good, not beneficial. And if I thought I had to do cardio, otherwise I'd gain weight. It was just like this. Now I look back and think that was quite backwards way of thinking, but at the time I didn't think anything of it. Now, I used to think that weights make you bulky. I did used to think this, honestly, and that I didn't want to lift weights. Oh no, that's a masculine thing to do. And yeah, I just wanted to look toned, so I used to run on the treadmill, or the cross trainer before the treadmill, and then I'd do a bit of abs and a little bit of little baby weights. The difference now. So my turning point was when I lived overseas and I met my good friend Karina, and she lifts weights, but she was lean and strong and not bulky, and she invited me to lift weights, and I'll be honest with you though, I didn't enjoy it. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I didn't listen. I was too scared. I believed the myths. I do wish I'd listened to her then, but you know what? We have to go through these journeys in our life. We can't just wake up one day and you meet someone, they tell you to do something and you just automatically do it. It took me a while, a few years, to turn around to Karina and go, you were right. I should be lifting weights. That is going to be more beneficial for me. So I didn't lift weights for years, not properly, and I was just doing cardio, and then I got into HIIT training, which is a bit more body weight stuff. I did do Joe Wick's HIIT training and I enjoyed it. But the problem with things like HIIT training, not specifically Joe Wick's, because he has changed his tune a bit over the years as well. His free workouts used to be all just like burpees and squat jumps and all the stuff we do, jumping around and stuff. And I used to do loads of stuff like that. That's all I used to do. But that just exhausts you. So you leave the gym just feeling absolutely knackered and exhausted because you have to use all the energy to jump around. Like, we shouldn't have to jump around to exercise. There's a time and a place for that, and that's plyometrics. And I do still use plyometrics in my training now, but I don't do it all the time because it'd knacker me. So I discovered that strength training changes your body composition better. So women don't have as much testosterone as men to build muscle like men. So it's really actually hard to get bulky. A lot of it, like, I've got quite big shoulders. I do build muscle quite easily, and I love it now. I absolutely love it. But it does take a lot of progressive overload, consistency, eating enough protein, and doing the right training. And some of it is genetics. I am genetically dispositioned to grow muscle. I should have known that because I've always had quite big calves. And my dad was a rugby player. He's that stocky like build, and I've got that genetic from him. But I then used to see like women online lifting heavy, having amazing bodies, and they weren't bulky. So my decision over time was to try something different. And starting out, I was living in Australia. I'd be doing HIIT sessions, and it was just by chance that I was going to a gym and someone came along. His name's Azza, and he invented this weight called the Y-bell. And it's a kettlebell, medicine ball, and dumbbell in one. And he gave free classes, and I was just like, oh, I'll just go along to these free classes. Oh my gosh, I loved it. But that was only like an entry drug into weightlifting. It really was just like, it was still quite cardio based, still quite high intensity, 40-minute sessions, absolutely killer, like kettlebell swings. But I did start to build muscles. So the first few weeks, honestly, when you start weight training, if you've never done it before, you will get DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Now, do not let this put you off. You'll see the jokes or the memes, or you've probably happened to you before where you can't even sit on the toilet, or you try to sit on the toilet, you just fall down, and it's even harder to get up, or you can't walk down the stairs, and your muscles are so sore. That's not going to be a constant when you're learning to lift weights. The first time's always the worst. It does get easier. Sometimes you'll do something and you'll get DOMS again, but it's usually never quite as bad. So adding weight slowly, and in the first few weeks, you'll have massive increases in strength if you start weight training at the very start. You'll go from lifting like 1 kilograms up to 10 kilograms quite fast. That's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but let's say 1 to 5. You start moving better, your mobility's better, and you might start enjoying it. And then the exercise becomes empowering, not punishing. So instead of before, when I was just doing cardio and like pushing myself to the extremes, now it's like I love going and doing a workout and be like, oh, I've lifted more reps of this or more weights. The app I use for coaching is fantastic for this because I use it myself, and it gives you X amount of animals that you've lifted at the end. I've had everything from corgis to pelicans and llamas. So it's like that little like, oh, I've done this, and it's a little congratulations at the end. But the physical changes as well, when you start weightlifting, if you want to look toned, quotation marks, that's weightlifting. So to lose fat, calorie deficit, to look toned, gain muscle, lean, is weight training. They're two different things that you need to do. So I started getting like muscle definition, I had better posture, better shape, better body composition, clothes was fitting better, I felt stronger, I'm more energised, every day tasks were easier. My running got better because I was strength training. If you are a runner, you should be doing some sort of strength training as well because of that impact you have on your muscles. And the reason a lot of people get injured is because they're not doing strength training alongside any other cardiovascular training or no training at all. And it improved my confidence of physical strength and mental strength, like going into the gym, lifting really big weights and just feeling like, yeah, empowered. So at first I was like, the timeline of lifting weights, you could feel, at first you're going to feel a bit awkward, you might feel a bit sore, then after a couple of months you might see small changes, strength increasing. Then after 4 to 6 months you're going to see a visible definition, especially if you've got some body fat to lose. You might not see the definition at first, but what's good is to work in tandem with losing body fat, a calorie deficit. Then you can lose body fat and gain muscle at the same time, by the way. That's going to bust a myth for some of you. So as you drop in body fat, you just need to have enough protein intake. And you also need to not be in a massive calorie deficit, aka if you are on weight loss injections, this is what I hear all the time, is that you're sometimes in a huge calorie deficit, so you drop in everything, so your body burns fat and muscle. So you need to keep that little balance correct so that you drop in fat and you can gain muscle at the same time. it's just a bit of a balance, like everything we've to do. And then over years, this isn't a quick fix. This is something I want you to incorporate in your life. And it's going to see a different physique and sustainable change and in love with lifting. The more muscle you have, the more calories you'll burn. So when it comes to, this is a bit of this might seem like, I've got muscle, so I burn, I can eat more and things like that. Yes, you can, but not loads amount. It only, a bit of muscle burns a little bit more calories. It's not like you have like an extra 2,000 calories a day. But because, like, if I look at my life and my body types, and I always use me as an example, when I was my slimmest and had no muscle, I was about 62, 63 kilograms. Now I'm near a 72, 73, right? I'm a similar, I was, when I was really, really slim, I was a size 8 to 10, but I'm about a 10 to 12 now. So I've got like nearly 10 kilos worth of a bit of fat, but mainly muscle. So because I weigh more, I'll burn more calories. So at rest, I can have like 2,000 calories a day, 2,200. Even when I was doing a deficit, like 2,000 sometimes is enough for me. So win-win situation. This is why I don't use the scales, because I could be like, I weigh 10 kilograms more than I did. But no, I look great. I'm lean, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm happy, I'm fit. Win-win-win. I'm not holding excess body fat anywhere. Yeah, I have some body fat because I don't want to be super, super, super lean, and that's a personal choice. I like to eat more food and I don't want to stay like super lean, which keeps me happy. But I'm very happy with my body composition, my body shape. It's the best it's ever been in my life. So women and muscle are true. So women have 15 to 20 times less testosterone than men. Building significant muscle requires years of training, eating protein and having good habits. And what actually happens is you build some muscle, get definition, look toned, and you don't get huge. You don't just go massive. If you do see some women sometimes, and this isn't a dig at anyone, if your choices are your choices, but really, really, I mean really, 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 really muscular, like massive, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. We all know Arnold Schwarzenegger was taking a few injections and stuff. So it's actually quite hard to grow a lot of muscle. Like, hats off to you. And it is becoming more popular as well, which I do appreciate. And I do appreciate, is that the right word? To become strong and have definition. So here's my current approach. So I do a couple of strength training sessions a week. That is it. And then the other days I run. So it's not about pushing myself. I really love a weight training session. I went and did one yesterday. It was on one of my busiest work days of the week. I go in, lift some weights, feel really good after, and I don't feel like exhausted from it. I still do a lot of cardio because my goal is running at the minute. I'm training for an ultra, but that's a personal choice. You don't have to do running. I would also recommend having cardio in your plan because that's good for heart health. But there's so many different ways you can do cardio as well. It doesn't have to be running. If you don't like running, don't do running. My mindset now is exercise to feel strong. It's not to punish myself. Rest days are essential. Oh my gosh, I have rest days. And some days, if you've done a really hard workout and you are sore the next day, you're alright to take a day off. If you're feeling a bit burnt out from working out, I've no guilt for missing sessions. And long-term, it's about long-term thinking now. It's for like, I want to be strong for my old lady body. Having muscle helps prevent your bones from deteriorating. So osteoarthritis can be caused by different things like genetics and lifestyle factors, but mainly deterioration of muscle over time, which makes your bones weaker. So if you have more muscle, your bones are stronger. So when you're older, if you fall or anything happens, if you've got muscle, you're less likely to break a bone. That's why when the ageing population has a slip, a trip, or fall, because your balance goes up as well. Training helps with balance. You should be working on everything, every aspect to stay functioning as a human for as long as possible. Like, I know I'm only 38, but I'm training for, I want to be that 80-year-old woman that's still in the gym lifting the weights. Yeah, I might not be, squatting my body weight at that time, but I'll still be moving well. And I now fuel my training. So this is something I touched on last week. So eating enough carbs for energy, eating enough protein for recovery, no restriction. I can't live on 1,000 calories a day. I can't build strength on that either. And I'm eating more than I ever did when I was slim, really, and I can't say slim as in skinny. I was like, I had no definition. I should straight up, straight down. I'll have to show you some pictures. And I'm eating more now and I look better and I feel better. So the result is I've got less fat, more muscle, more defined, I'm stronger, injury free apart from a hamstring injury, but that was caused by overuse of running, which I'm now working on, and my hamstrings feel stronger than ever. Mentally more confident, empowered, freedom from the cardio slavery. Gosh, I can't remember the last time I did a burpee. I used to love them as well, but I just don't need it in my life anymore, personally. I'll give you them if you want them, but I do training specific for my goals. I have better energy, better sleep, and better mental health because of it. The amount of times I'm like, oh, I've had a long day and it gets the afternoon, and I am peak performance for me is morning. I get up at 6, and my best energised times are about to midday. Time now, it's 5 to 11. This has to be recorded in the morning. In the afternoon, you know how I stumble over words? 20 times worse. I'm terrible. And by evening, I'm just checked out. So, for me, when it comes to training, I'm better in the morning. But still, sometimes I can't fit it in the morning because I've got a business to run. So I'll try and go, I'll be like, right, okay, I've got to go in the afternoon. And honestly, that mental chatter I have, sometimes. I had a client say it the other day and she was like, oh, you're always so motivated. I'm like, I'm not. I have to be consistent. Sometimes in the afternoon, I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go. And honestly, most of the time, sometimes I'll listen to a podcast, I'll listen to a good playlist, and I feel so much better after. And if you don't, that's fine too. Sometimes you don't feel better after. So advice if you're scared to be as a beginner, you won't get bulky. Like, I'm trying to get bulky and you won't. It's incredibly difficult. If you don't know how, neither did I, right? So here are a few options. Hire a PT to coach you, watch YouTube, message me and I'll give you my 4-day free training plan, or sign up with me and I will coach you. The thing I do that I don't know if every coach does, and this isn't just a sales tactic for me, I'm just telling you, when you're looking for a coach, look for one that gives you the right tools for you. And that doesn't have to be me, it can be someone else. My app, literally, I've made sure all my videos explain everything as if you've never picked up a weight before. I explain all the movement patterns so that when you learn, even though it's an online program, you watch a little video of me showing you how to do a deadlift and you know exactly how to do that to the T. It's something I've learned because I've been doing this for 6 years and I was also a CrossFit coach for a bit as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I learned how to teach things properly, not just the basics of movement patterns. It's literally intricate details like how to improve your squat depth, because girls, you want to be sitting on the sofa and getting up when you're 80, don't you? That's what squatting is. If you are intimidated by the weight area, just know no one cares about you. Everyone is focused on themselves. Everyone cares about themselves. If you need to build up confidence, go in the quiet times. Take a friend. You have the right to be there. One of my biggest goals for women when they come and work with me is getting the confidence to go to the big girl weight area where all the men are and there's grunting, things like that. Put your playlist in, get in there, do one exercise, do a few reps, and if you need to leave after that. Build up the confidence, build up the reps. You have the right to be there too and take up ownership, girls. 100%. I get really passionate about this. If you think you're too old or you're too weak, it's never too late. It's never too late to start a new thing, to build muscle. And if you're working with me, and this is my advice to give you if you're not working with me, start small, right? Don't go in and start picking up 20 kilos and injure yourself. Start with a 3, then a 4, then a 5. It's absolutely fine. You're better to have quick wins and build up slowly than you are to injure yourself. Honestly, I think everyone should be lifting weights. I was telling a client not so long ago, her parents are in the 70s, and I'm like, you need to get them lifting weights. It's one thing I pride myself on. When I became a coach, I did actually get my dad lifting weights. My mum's always gone to classes and things, and she does lift weights, and she does it a bit more now as well. But yeah, getting my dad to lift weights because it's for longevity, to feel stronger and move in daily life. That's all it is. It's keeping you fit for life. So my top tips: getting a coach. Get someone to help you. If you don't know what you're doing, get a coach. If you can't afford to get a coach, look through YouTube, but don't just use random workouts. Try and be, ask me as well. I've got a free 4-day training plan. Start with compound movements: squats, deadlifts, presses, push-pull legs. If you need explanations for this, message me. Progressive overload. If you're not progressively overloading, you're not increasing muscle, so increase your weight, reps, time under tension each week. Form over ego prevents injury. I do see this worse with men. I'm sorry to put you in a corner with that. in a box. That's a word, not a corner. But men do tend to be more like, oh gosh, when I worked in Pure Gym in Market Street, I used to see some terrible things. Group of lads around, and they've all got 200 kilos. I mean, 200 kilos on a barbell deadlifting, and the guy's like arching his back so much. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to slip a disc. Just watching it is terrible. Form first. If you don't know correct form, research. Or message me for coaching. So that's paradigm coaching. I can't just give everyone form videos, tutorials. But there are loads of videos out there of how to do it correctly. Fuel your training, eat enough protein. So eat something before for carbohydrates, protein for after. Rest and recover. The work isn't while you're doing it, it's in your recovery. Your muscles grow whilst you're resting. Sleeping, eating protein, they grow. So what happens is, when you build muscle and when you weight train, you tear down the microfibers, like little tiny hairs. Your muscles are made up of millions of little tiny microfibers, and these minute tears, that's what gives you DOMS if you tear them too much. Minute tears, and then what happens is that's teared there, and then the protein comes along. Sorry if you're not watching this. Protein comes along and builds around it, like a circle around the tear. So that's how the muscle builds up. Build, 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 build. You need to be patient. It takes time. You need to enjoy the process as well. And yeah, so cardio versus strength. So cardio is good for heart health, endurance, mental health, supplement to strength. If you enjoy doing cardio, you can swim, bike, Stairmaster, the devil, love it. Love-hate relationship. Cross-training, walking at a brisk walk, and I mean a brisk walk that gets your heart rate up. Especially as you get older, the ageing population, a brisk walk where you're getting your heart rate up into zone 1 or zone 2, so anything usually over 100 beats per minute, great. For all those like people under 50, under 60 maybe actually, under 70 maybe, you do need something a bit more for heart health. But skipping good as well. You know, a sedentary bike, a bike if you dare get out on the streets and ride the bike. Things that get your heart pumping, that's cardio. It can be something you enjoy. It doesn't have to be something you don't enjoy. It doesn't have to be torture. HIIT training, high intensity interval training, there's different forms of training as well. Go to a spin class, go to a HIIT class, loads of things. So cardio won't build muscle. It changes body composition significantly or create definition. So it won't do any of those. It won't change your body composition and it won't create definition. It can, with a calorie deficit, it can complement fat loss. But what I found was, when I was doing loads of cardio, I was hungrier. So I was having to fuel it more. And you'll find this with a lot of people that do a lot of running that aren't as aware with like nutrition and fat loss. They'll think, oh, I just need to run to burn off calories, and you don't. That's your diet. They're two separate things that work together in unison. Strength training builds muscle, changes composition, increases metabolism, protects bones, and creates toned, into inverted commas, look. And it's empowering. 2 to 3 days a week is more than enough of each. If you can only do one though, that's better than anything. So, short and sweet today, gosh. It's not like me to not rabbit on for hours on end. But I hope you got some valuable information from learning about cardio versus strength and why you should be strength training. So strength training makes you strong, defined, confident, not bulky. Absolutely not. Helps balance flexibility, mobility, just everything for life. Just think of it as strength for life. And your body can do amazing things. It's so empowering as well to be able to lift something really heavy and just feel like strong. So cardio only. So try strength training sessions if you only do cardio at the minute. If you're intimidated, watch videos, get a coach, celebrate every lift. And if you're scared, commit to 8 to 12 weeks for yourself just to see progress. It does take time, and hopefully you'll stick to it long term, because honestly, I'm going to be doing this when I'm 80. I might not be doing it the same, but I'm going to be doing it when I'm 80. So thanks for taking time to listen today. Don't forget to like and share and comment below what you thought of this podcast, and tell me about if you're a weightlifter, if you're a cardio bunny, what's your favourite form of exercise. I want to hear from you. And next week I'm going to be jumping into all about sobriety. I'm over 4 years sober now. I'm going to teach you what quitting alcohol taught me about real change, and it's going to be a real deep dive. So I'm going to get a bit vulnerable here. I'm always really honest and open, but it's going to be a deep one. And why I was using alcohol to escape life and my decision to quit, with lots of lessons coming up. So yeah, trigger warning, it is about alcohol abuse and emotional avoidance, but if you can listen to it, you might get some help, advice, and tips. Okay, progress over perfection as always. Have a great week.